Well, thank you and welcome to Kern County again, Governor. I don't know if you know, but my father and his family were farm workers in this community as children many years ago. 6 years old, actually, younger than even my own son, Jude. Part of the legacy and culture of Arvin and many communities like this in California and throughout the country. Hard-working families feeding this country, feeding the world. We are so proud in Kern County that this community is the backbone of Kern County's multi-billion-dollar agribusiness. And to have you here giving some TLC and love and appreciation and prioritization means more than I could convey with words today. So I want to welcome you here again. Thank you for your year-long partnership on COVID with Kern County. You launched the very first ever drive-through testing site in the Central Valley. As you recall, you sent your good friend Sean Penn down. You have used your remarkable prowess and talent and connections to never forget places like Arvin. And for that, you remain near and dear in our heart. I have a small token of appreciation here for you. It is a face mask, Mexican style, handmade from Mexico for the First Lady or First Partner. And it's a thank you for coming here and recognizing the work that Kern County families do, that Arvin families do to feed America, feed this state, and to keep us moving forward. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. That's really nice. Actually, really. Thank you.
Well, I would love to say more words, but all I can say is that I'm truly honored. To have you here in our beautiful city of Arvin is so meaningful. You have no idea how I have prayed for this, for our community, because of our farmers, our farm workers. I am a product of farm working families. I've been here for 53 years, and this pandemic has been second to nothing. It's never been seen. I am honored to have you here. We are a huge percentage of farm workers, essential workers, as I was mentioning to you outside. They're called essential, but they're actually the ones that put all our food on the table. Thank you so much for your presence here. We're making history. Our city is going to be able to have their vaccines here. The fear is going to be taken away from them, and they will be able to see firsthand, how much love and care our governor of our beautiful state of California has shown just by being here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Very kind. My gosh. Thank you.
Well, Governor, welcome to Kern County. Welcome where we feed and fuel the world. And you've heard about the agricultural community here, and we're just so grateful that we have a hardworking community in Kern County. We also have a very generous community. But in this community, we also have great need. And you and I have talked about the need we have for vaccines here. In Kern County, we are prepared with our fairgrounds to have 5,000 vaccinations per day, but right now we're only able to administer about 800 because of that shortage. We have 90 sites that are ready, 90 providers that are ready, and also a mobile clinic. So what do we need? We need vaccines, and I think you're here to bring some good news. While we have this amazing community, we also have a disproportionate share of health challenges. You and I have communicated about heart disease, asthma, diabetes that are probably 40% higher here than in other places. Another challenge that we also have here is that rather than having just in the age group of 18 to 54-year-old, we're having 40% more deaths in that than statewide. And so when you think about the comorbidities compounded with COVID, we really need your help. And so I believe you're here to bring us some amazing news Amazing news, and so we are asking of you, and I think you're going to deliver today. So it is my honor, Governor, to welcome you here to the stage. Thank you so much for being here in Kern County, responding to our cry for help. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Supervisor, thank you. Thank you for that beautiful gift, and I'm looking forward to seeing my wife later this evening, and I look forward to sharing your words as well. And Mayor, thank you for the privilege of the opportunity to be here in Arvin and to have this site operationalized. And Mayor, thank you for all your leadership in so many issues. We've been engaged on issues of transportation, obviously issues of homelessness, issues clearly related to testing, and now vaccinations. Let me now just quickly give you an update on where we are as a state, and let me break down where we will be in a week and two here in the Central Valley, not just in Kern County. Just a brief update. California has now surpassed Israel, over 7.3 million doses having been administered here in the state. We're averaging about 200,000 doses on a daily basis. 1.4 million vaccines were administered just last week here in the state. Here's the challenge. We only received 1.3 million vaccines in the state. We have a manufacturer problem. We have a supply problem because there's not enough manufactured vaccines in this country, let alone vaccines available in this state. This state has significantly increased its pace of administration. We are looking forward to seeing an increased allocation in vaccinations arriving in this state. 1.4 million anticipated this week, 1.5 million anticipated next week. We have designed a system statewide that can allow for roughly 3 million vaccines to be administered on any given day. We're going to design it for an additional 4 million total. So when we have those sites like fairgrounds that are fully operationalized, we're able to move quickly, move efficiently, and move equitably. And I want to underscore the issue of equity because it's exactly why I am here. The issue of equity needs to be front and center. What happened, not just in California, but all across this country, when we all took the CDC guidelines, we prioritized, understandably and appropriately, healthcare workers. Healthcare workers broadly are not truly representative in terms of demographics the rest of the state. As we broaden the tiers and we apply more critical workforce, farm workers, food workers, other critical workforce like teachers, we obviously will be able to do more to advance that cause of equity. It's been the cause that has brought me to almost every part of the state. Every day I am somewhere else in the state of California focusing on this issue, stepping up our efforts. Black churches yesterday, public housing yesterday, down in Long Beach talking about teachers today with an eye and focus on effectively and efficiently with an equitable mindset administering these doses of vaccines. I'm here back in the Central Valley. We were here last week. I'll be here later this week again, other parts of the valley. Here in the spirit, as the mayor said, of trying to deliver not just platitudes on the issue of equity, but to try to deliver on what we've been promoting and promised, and that is more vaccinations. So here's what I want to share with all of you. This site represents one of 11 sites that will be going live later this week. This site's a special site. The site, Mayor, is special for many different reasons, but it fundamentally meets the criteria in terms of protecting the most vulnerable and valuable members of society. Because as you said, rightfully, Mayor, these are the folks that never took a day off. These are the folks that never complained. These are folks that wake up every single day and were there for the rest of us so we can go about our lives as challenged as they've been in the last years. And it's not just Californians that benefit, it's folks all across this country and around the world. And so it's right that we highlight that workforce, we highlight these extraordinary human beings, their families, and all the struggles they have to personally persevere through, and then their professionalism as it relates to advancing the cause of keeping each and every one of us fed in this great state and nation. And so the least we can do is meet the community where they are. Now, it's wonderful to have the mass vaccination sites, but we know this. Not everyone has a car. Not everyone has access to tools of technology. Even if they have access to tools of technology, they may not have an internet or download speeds or even know how to navigate all of these forms and all of the different criteria for notification apps. And so we have to be more nimble. We have to be more mobile. And so this is one of 11 mobile sites that we are pulling up this week alone in the Central Valley. It's supported by an increase in allocation starting this week into the Central Valley of 58%. We are increasing this week and moving forward by 58% the availability of vaccines in the Central Valley. In Kern County, the increase is 78%. 58% valley-wide, 78% here in Kern County. Just shy of 15,000 doses will arrive this week, 14,850 doses, representing a 78% increase, which is, we hope, welcome news. Now, I am deeply mindful that that's not nearly enough. And again, that's the constraint that we're under. We're building out a system whose only fundamental constraint is supply. So supply is the issue. That's a national issue, and we're going to work hard to overcome that. And here's something else we're doing. This is the second part of the announcement. We are redirecting 34,000 doses that one of our large pharmacies had that were not being administered as efficiently as effectively as I like, and we decided to bring those 34,000 doses here to the Central Valley. And so that's happening this week as well. So 11 mobile sites, a 58% Central Valley increase going forward, 78% in Kern County, and an additional 34,000 doses that will be arriving as well this week. Mindful of our responsibility and obligation to do more and do better. Mindful always that we have a lot of people that wish and desire to seek the opportunity to access these sites, and mindful that many don't even know that they're available or even proximate to where they're living. And that's why we have to continue the work being in language, truly advancing the cause of being culturally competent, again, not just as a platitude, but getting trusted messengers. Getting the mayor, been here 53 years, to say, you know what, I safely took the first dose of vaccine. A trusted member of the community, not just the mayor of Arvin, someone that people trust to say, I did it, I'm healthy, I'm safe. So critical. So we deal with the issue of vaccine hesitancy. At the same time, we are doing it mindful that there's still a lot of resistance out there. And so a lot of work to be done, but work is being done, and we are moving in the right direction. Final point, forgive me, guys, for being so long-winded. But it's important to know, when I talk about light at the end of the tunnel, we all are talking about a little bit of relief, because we're seeing light at the end of the tunnel, for all of us. But I see bright light. And what I mean by that is that this state's positivity rate now has dropped to 3.0% today. 3.0. Just 30 days ago, it was 8.9%. Just 30 days ago, we reported the highest number of deaths ever reported in the state of California, 794. Today, we reported, tragically, still 233, but 794 to 233. 8.9% positivity down to 3% positivity. We've seen case rates go from 23,000 1 month ago today down to 4,700 today. Hospitalizations, ICUs, down 41% and 39% in the last 2 weeks. We're starting to see more commerce. We're starting to see more movement through these tiers, more confidence now that we can get our kids back safely in the classroom. And that's why we announced on Friday that 10% of all new vaccines statewide, first doses, are being set aside for our educators. We have got to get our schools safely reopened. We have got to get the youngest and the most vulnerable back in-person instruction. This is an imperative for the social-emotional learning of our children, and it's imperative we do it safely. And we honor that, again, not just rhetorically. And that's why the prioritization of that 10% will begin formally on March 1st, but it's already begun in 35 counties informally that have already been doing it, including the county, or rather the city that I was just in Long Beach, that now moving to the second doses for thousands of teachers already. There's nothing in the state regs that deny that from occurring today. We don't have to wait till March 1st, but there is a set-aside starting March 1st. So forgive me again, long-windedness, but it's really an honor to be here with all of you and to be here. It's just a remarkable community that is just part of the pride. I think of the three legs of California. It's agriculture, it's entertainment, and so much of the innovation and tech that we are experiencing within ag, within the entertainment industry, but also clearly parts of Silicon Valley and elsewhere. And so I'm grateful to all of you, and hopefully this will soften a little bit of the stress, but nonetheless increase the expectation that we do more and better into the future as well. So with that, we're here, of course, to answer any questions.
Kern County was one of the last schools to actually close their doors or make the announcement they were going to be forming and closing. Are you worried they're going to be the last one schools to open again?
I hope not, but you know what? We have to be responsible in terms of also being supportive to get those schools reopened. We've provided 3 months of coverage on PPE. We have significantly increased our pure pupil investment. We put out safety dashboards, this new Safe Schools Hub, so there's more accountability, transparency. We have a $6.6 billion package in front of the legislature of additional financial support for the districts, and we're now setting aside 10% of the vaccines. We are doing our part, but as we move forward with these vaccines in the next few weeks, I really expect that these schools begin to reopen as well, because the longer we wait, the closer we get to the summer, and that means as soon as we open, we're going to be shutting back down, and these kids cannot afford another day, let alone month or two, of learning loss because they're not in person.
And Governor, how would you describe the vaccine rollout here in California? Has it gone a little bit bumpier than you expected, or do you think it's gone relatively smoothly compared to how it could have gone?
There's always improvement. It's not dissimilar. We're a nation state in size and scope, and what I mean by that is quite literally the state's population is the size of 21 states in America combined. You've got counties that did a remarkable and efficient job at distributing vaccines, and some that candidly did not. And so we had designed a 58-state solution, so to speak, and last week we decided to bring that in-house through this third-party agreement. The reason I'm here today with this first announcement, because of that TPA, the third-party agreement, we have reallocated a substantial increase to our essential workforce, disproportionately those in food and ag, and that's why the Central Valley is the beneficiary of that 58% increase, and that's due to this new third-party agreement. So it's very meaningful, and so in that respect, no, we're stepping things up, we're getting to the next level. But like testing, I said this when we started, it's a flywheel in California. It takes a few weeks to get moving, and once we get moving, we get going, and that's why we're in a position with 7+ million, almost 7.5 million doses now to lay claim to doing what only 6 other nations on planet Earth have done in terms of total administered doses.
Governor, thank you for being in Arvin and remembering the little guys. We appreciate it.
Oh, God bless.
In the past few weeks, the Kern County Board of Supervisors have talked about wanting to put an emphasis on vaccines for our senior population. We've seen the highest mortality rates with them. Can you talk about balancing that to help the seniors while saving these vaccines for our agricultural workers and our educational workers?
So I love that question, and it's literally balanced in a very numerical frame. And I know that's sort of crass because each and every person's a unique story, a human being, and their expression's unique. But nonetheless, numerically, here's what we're doing today, and the reason this valley now is going to enjoy broadly, Central Valley, that is, a 58% increase. We are now allocating 70% 65 and over statewide, 30% of all vaccines in that the category that has this tier that includes farm workers and food workers, includes teachers as well. And so you're the beneficiary of that, Central Valley, disproportionate to perhaps other parts of the state. But that's how we have framed it, based upon our partnership, not only with the third-party administrator, but our engagement with local health officers, including your two outstanding health officers that are with us here today.
And Governor, on that note, just on the 70% versus 30%, I was told that as of this morning, those in the 30% to Phase 1B have not been able to get onto myturn.ca.gov. Do you know when they might be able to?
Everybody's starting to come on board. The mayor and I were just talking about that. So there's going to be a transition. And I want to make this crystal clear. I said this last week. I want to repeat it, and I'll probably repeat it for another week or two, just to level set. We're going through a major transition, and invariably there'll be bumps along the road. But we feel it's important to be in this process through transition, because when these vaccines come at scale, and they will, just think about the J&J vaccines will likely get emergency use authorization this week. We'll start to enjoy some of the J&J shots next week, one single dose, probably in 2 weeks perhaps. And then this summer, you're going to see an exponential increase of availability supply. We've got to be prepared, and that's why we want to get everybody on not just a notification platform, MyTurn, but a scheduling platform that has an end-to-end component. So there's total transparency. There's a dashboard of real-time data analytics, accountability across the spectrum, connecting not just 58 counties, but 1,100 plus providers in that network. And so we're transitioning with a new platform at scale no other state in America has ever endeavored to do. And I'm mindful that that's wrought with potential pratfall and a little bit of bumpiness in the transition. But we're seeing most counties now coming on board. I just came from LA County, which was the first pilot. It's gone relatively well. San Diego was the second pilot, went relatively well. And we're starting to hear good things, but there are some issues, and I'm mindful we've got to work through those.
Governor, just last week, county officials were calling on you to come here and visit and view the infrastructure we have set up for these vaccines. Were those calls heard, and did that play into you?
The mayor's call was more direct. She has my cell phone, so I didn't even know about the rest of it. She just said, you better visit Bakersfield. Here I am 4 days later. So I was in Fresno and Madera last week, and I said I was coming back, and I said we're coming back again. But no, those calls matter. They do matter. And we do care, and I know people often don't feel that way. And I hate that. When I read that, I hear that, honestly, it breaks my heart. I'm dead serious. I'm just like a guy, I give a damn. I do. You know, I know I'm a politician, everyone, yeah, we have our thing. We objectify, and, you know, they're not human. They're just, you know, we love, hate, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, if people don't think we care, I mean, that, like, literally, you don't sleep well at night. Because you do care. Why else you do this stuff? You don't want to see people suffering or feel inferior or less than. I mean, that's horrible. I've made this point from day one. I know I'm not some guy from San Francisco that doesn't give a damn about the Valley. I said, I'm not going to let that happen. And I know we're not perfect, and I know we're not doing everything, but I'm trying to bridge that. And I really have. And, you know, it's not my first time out here, just around vaccines. We've been on a lot of issues. I was just talking to the three of them about work we're trying to do on water. I'm mindful of that, on homelessness. And I don't care if Republican, Democrat, I want to be helpful. We don't have to agree on everything, but damn it, I care about your kids, your family, your community. We all do. I don't care what you vote for. I don't, you know, if you work on a rig or, I mean, I care. We care. And so we have to be mindful of each other in that. And so anyway, forgive me for being long-winded. I just want you to know that, you know, I am sensitive to those things because, you know, we want to deliver.
Well, you're proving you care.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. Sweet. No, thanks.
Governor, for people in Kern County asking for your recall, what would your message be to them?
I'm focused on vaccines. I'm focused on getting vaccines into people's arms. I'm focused on getting our kids back to school. I'm focused on getting small businesses relief. And, you know, tomorrow, preview, it looks like, based upon the vote that's happening as I speak, that we'll be in a position to sign a bill to provide $2 billion of direct small business grants, not loans. And our commitment in that effort is to underserved communities and underrepresented communities, which means we're going to be very mindful of where those dollars go. It's going to be a huge boost to folks here in the Valley, huge boost, $5,000 to $25,000 grants. We're also going to be signing a bill that provides $3.8 billion. I know you could start losing these numbers, become crazy, but that's just those two things, 5.8, almost $6 billion for 5.7 million Californians direct cash grants into the household pockets. And I assure you, I know this because I've looked at that demographic where those dollars go, huge percentage of that is going to be out in the Central Valley as well. So that's just tomorrow. And so that's what I'm focused on exclusively. And that's the work in front of us, and I'm looking forward to highlight those efforts tomorrow when we sign this bill.
Any other questions, or are we wrapped?
If we could have the mayor say something in Spanish after.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, we'll get the mayor up here. I understand a few words of Spanish.
Bueno, pues buenas tardes. Estoy ahorita honrada de tener a nuestro gobernador de aquí del estado de California, aquí en nuestra ciudad de Irvine, para anunciar el inicio de las vacunas que se van a estar ofreciendo aquí en Irvine, en el Salón de Veteranos, empezando el jueves de 10 de la mañana a 7 de la tarde. Ahora vamos a tener aquí la manera que se puedan registrar para que hagan las citas. Está primordialmente para las personas mayores de edad, trabajadores esenciales que les llaman, bueno, nuestros trabajadores campesinos. Es muy importante, voy a poder yo darles ese sitio para que puedan agarrar esa información. En inglés es myturn.ca.gov, pero bueno, mi turno, ca.gov, whatever, pero yo voy a poderles dar esa información. Estoy honrado porque tenemos aquí nuestra supervisora Leticia Pérez, ¿verdad? Nuestra alcaldesa de la ciudad de Bakersfield, Karen County, y la verdad estoy honrada de tener a tantas personas aquí del condado de Kern, Matt que está allá con su compañera, el condado de Kern. La verdad para mí es un honor. Aquí no hay lugar para republicanos ni demócratas. Aquí es lugar para servicios para nuestra ciudad. Okay? There's no room for Republicans or Democrats. It's room for resources. It's room for things that we need. And that's what I'm talking about. And that's why I'm honored to have, these beautiful people, our governor, our supervisor. She's a director of Latino Task Force. That's why she's here with us today. Y para mí es un honor, verdaderamente, ser la primer alcaldesa de aquí de la ciudad de Irvine, mexicana, trabajadora, que estoy honrada de ser su servidora. Gracias.
Muchísimas gracias.
Gracias.
Well done.